I first started thinking about this project, and I could go in any direction when it comes to civil rights and transportation, particularly in my position as Director of Civil Rights for the department. So there's so many things to talk about, from access to persons with disabilities, curb cuts, which of course have benefited those of us who ride bikes, and people who have strollers and other wheels, and buses lowering themselves, and all of those things, as well as doling out money to the states in an equitable way. But I think what I'd like to talk about for a minute in terms of transportation and the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which we're commemorating, is my earliest memories of how important transportation really is to our world and to the people, to the economy of the world, and to the people who are in it in the United States. I, luckily or not so, happened to be born in Mobile, Alabama in 1950, and in 1955 I was in school. And so I was very aware of what was going on in Montgomery, Alabama, which was only 3 hours away, and in a city where I had friends. And the Montgomery bus boycott was very real to me even at that young age, and primarily because my parents were very vocal and they talked about it a lot. These were the people who for 1 year walked to work in that scalding heat down there because they refused to be disrespected by not being able to sit anywhere they wanted to on the bus, or having to defer to another person because of their color. And while it didn't make sense to a 5-year-old going on 6, it did resonate with me, because even in Mobile, we had people who were joining the movement for the same reasons. And so in the morning, driving to grammar school, we would see what I thought at 5 were droves of black women in their uniforms as maids walking the streets of Mobile rather than riding the bus. So it was very clear to me that transportation, even in my own grammar school, which was 5 miles away, was very important if you wanted to have access to things that would improve your life. So my earliest memory is that, and the desegregation of the buses, which of course became very real in my own life as I got older and rode the buses in Mobile myself. In addition to that, I think back over my own parents, my father, who was born and raised in New Orleans, and who would not have had access to higher education had it not been for his father's ability to take care of transportation needs and get him ultimately to Howard University here in Washington for dental school. All of this is wrapped up in this ability to get around. So in my own experience, as much as every day I advocate for persons with disabilities and persons with language issues, who are not speaking English, all of those things we fight for in rules and regulations in the Department of Transportation. The real issue for me is that without transportation, we would not have the livelihoods that we have now. And when we deny people access to transportation, even within our principalities, we are denying them access to equal opportunity. So my earliest experiences of Rosa Parks and my friends in Montgomery and in Selma, who saw all of this and who also reiterated those stories to me, reminds me of brave people who even today are still fighting for access to transportation and equal opportunity. So I am thrilled that we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which of course shaped my life as a 14-year-old. And I'm thrilled that we're doing something like this so that we can share our stories with other people.